Dramatic music swells as footage rolls of raging oil fires lighting up the Iranian night sky. Cut to President Trump pounding the podium with "No more games." Then Xi Jinping stone-faced at a Beijing press conference, overlaid with U.S. aircraft carriers steaming through the Strait of Hormuz under stormy skies. Explosions echo. Tension builds. Welcome to the edge of World War III. China just threw a lifeline into the fire, an official invitation to host U.S.-Iran peace talks in Beijing. Is this the breakthrough that saves the world from oil chaos and nuclear brinkmanship? Or is it Beijing's cunning masterstroke to seize control of the Middle East while America bleeds? Hours ago, state media announced Xi's door is open, but after Trump's history of slamming every Iranian proposal as unacceptable and Tehran's vow of a memorable lesson to aggressors, trust is shattered glass on the floor. Tonight, we're dissecting every angle. First, the crisis that forced China's hand. U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, UAE drones torching oil refineries, Hezbollah swarms hitting Israel. Then, Beijing's real motives tied to Trump's semiconductor wars and their oil addiction. We'll map Trump's red lines versus Iran's defiance, run scenarios from peace to apocalypse, and predict if this talk even happens. By the end, you'll know if your gas prices hit $10 a gallon or if cooler heads prevail. This isn't just news, it's your survival guide. China playing 4D chess? Smash like right now if you think so. Subscribe and hit the bell for daily geopolitical breakdowns before the next bombs drop. Let's dive in. Fast forward to early May 2026. The powder keg ignites. On May 5th, U.S. Navy SEALs, backed by Israeli intel, launched precision strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear enrichment facilities near Natanz and Fordo. Satellite images show craters where centrifuges spun uranium to weapons grade. Tehran erupts. Supreme Leader Khamenei's proxy chants "Death to America" from Tehran rooftops, while IRGC missiles streak toward U.S. bases in Iraq. Most intercepted, but 2 hit, killing 14 service members. Iran retaliates asymmetrically. Hezbollah unleashes 200 drones on northern Israel, targeting Haifa's port and Iron Dome batteries. IDF scrambles F-35s, downing 180, but 20 slip through, sparking fires and blackouts. Netanyahu vows Beirut will burn, and by May 8th, Israeli commandos raid Dahiya, assassinating a top Radwan Force commander. Casualties mount 50, Hezbollah dead, per viral body cam footage smuggled online. Enter the UAE wildcard. Abu Dhabi, fed up with Houthi drone swarms disrupting Gulf shipping, greenlights a covert op. Emirati F-16s, armed with Israeli Popeye missiles, pulverize Iran's Abadan oil refinery on May 10th. Flames tower 500 feet, spewing black smoke visible from Iraq. Global oil spikes 25% overnight to 140s a barrel. Iran accuses Zionist puppets, promises rivers of blood, but their navy stays docked. Hormuz minefields deter full blockade. Trump responds from the White House Situation Room. Iran's on life support, he tweets at 2 a.m., followed by a Fox interview. Ceasefire? Only if they dismantle every nuke site under full inspection. No more unacceptable half measures. B-52s buzz the strait, carriers reposition. Domestically, it's perfect storm timing. A hantavirus outbreak from a quarantined cruise ship in Miami diverts headlines, with CDC confirming 200 cases, whispers of Iranian bioweapon ties fueling conspiracy mills. Russia cheers from sidelines. Putin's Victory Day parade in Moscow on May 9th flaunts T-14 tanks, mocking Zelensky's surprise drone swarm that bloodied Donbass lines. France's May Day riots in Paris bury Macron in domestic fury over Sahel pullout, leaving Europe sidelined. Into this inferno steps China. On May 12th, Xi's foreign ministry drops the bomb. Beijing offers neutral ground for direct U.S.-Iran dialogue. Peace serves all. No preconditions, but subtext screams, "We control the room." Why the sudden saint? Iran supplies 12% of China's crude. Disruptions jack up their import bill by billions. Plus, Trump's fresh semiconductor tariffs bite Huawei hard. Mediation buys goodwill, maybe a trade thaw. This isn't charity. China's post-Mali masterclass, watching France get booted from the Sahel by Russian Wagner, taught them fill vacuums fast. Iran's desperation meets U.S. fatigue and Beijing's ambition. But as one ex-CIA analyst quipped in a viral clip, China's hosting the talks? That's like the fox guarding the hen house. Timeline graphic fades. Strikes to summit invite in 7 mad days. Buckle up. Next, we crack Beijing's true playbook. Why China? Why now? Beijing isn't swooping in as global Good Samaritan. This is cold, calculated power projection layered over raw economic survival. Start with oil. Iran pumps 12% of China's crude imports, over 1.5 million barrels daily, through the Strait of Hormuz. UAE's Abadan refinery strike slashed that flow by 300,000 barrels, spiking Brent crude to $142. She can't stomach $150 oil strangling factories from Shenzhen to Shanghai. Hosting talks neutralizes the threat overnight, locking in discounted Iranian barrels long-term while U.S. carriers steam away. Layer 2, the semiconductor stranglehold. Trump's May 10th executive order bans advanced chip exports to China, citing national security after the U.S. mayor's guilty plea in a Chinese espionage ring. Huawei's 5nm production halts. CEMEX scrambles for Dutch ASML machines under embargo. Mediation flips the script. Xi offers Beijing as the venue, Trump gets a win, and in return, quiet concessions on rare earths or TikTok data flows. It's leverage. China holds 90% of global refining capacity for U.S. tech metals. One think tank brief circulating X notes, Beijing trades diplomacy for silicon, Trump's tariffs crumble if talks succeed. Geopolitics seals it. Post-Mali humiliation, Macron's forces evicted by Bamako's Russian-backed junta, China watched Europe fumble the Sahel vacuum. Now, Middle East chaos mirrors that. U.S. strike fatigue, Israel's Hezbollah quagmire, Iran's isolated roar. Xi eyes the prize. A Beijing brokered deal positions China as the indispensable broker, sidelining UN fumbling and NATO irrelevance. Russia gets a nod. Putin's Victory Day, T-14s rolled, while Zelensky's drones bled Donbass, freeing Moscow to ship S-400s to Tehran without Western howls. The axis tightens. BRICS summit in Kazan next month could unveil a Shanghai Cooperation Security Pact extending to Hormuz patrols. But dig deeper. Viral theories explode on YouTube. Did China greenlight Houthi disruptions via backchannels to inflate crisis, forcing their hand as savior? Clips rack millions. Xi stoked the fire to play fireman. Evidence thin, but timing suspect. China's April arms shipment to Houthis via Oman, flagged by CENTCOM right before Abadan burned. False flag or not, it works. Global South cheers multipolarity from Jakarta to Johannesburg. Internally, Xi's purge paves the way. 2 defense ministers executed for corruption last month signal iron control over PLA hawks itching for Taiwan. Stability lets Beijing play statesman abroad. Hypothetical ex-diplomat clip. Xi's generals are leashed. Now he projects calm to a world in panic. Trade flows, graphic pulses. China's Middle East imports up 18% year over year. Russia oil reroutes via Arctic tankers evading sanctions. U.S. hantavirus headlines, cruise ship quarantined, 200 cases, distract Trump's base, softening him for talks. Critics cry trap. Hosting in Beijing means CCP microphones everywhere, no U.S. intel overwatch. Iran walks away with sanctions relief, nuclear ambiguity intact. Trump swallows pride or risks midterm bloodbath amid $10 gas. China's endgame? Dominate the narrative. America bombs, China builds bridges. Map zooms, belt and road tentacles from Gwadar to Haifa, now threading Hormuz. Sounds noble on paper, but can Trump's ego fit through Beijing's door? One hawkish pundit sneers, "Fox in the henhouse with nukes." Cliffhanger hits, motives mapped. Now the immovable object meets the unstoppable force. Trump faces a political vice. At home, the hantavirus outbreak spirals. Miami's cruise ship quarantine expands to 3 ports. CDC reports 450 cases, 8 deaths by May 12th. Viral footage shows panicked passengers fleeing terminals, oxygen masks dangling, fueling Fox News loops tying it to Iranian bioweapons labs. Trump's base demands strength, no weak deals amid body bags and $4.50 gas. His May 11th Mar-a-Lago briefing leaks. Iran's response was unacceptable last time. Beijing changes nothing. Advisors whisper midterms loom. A botched summit tanks GOP Senate hopes. China espionage bombshell compounds it. The ex-mayor's guilty plea details CCP cash funneled through Confucius Institutes, implicating 20 officials. Trump rages on Truth Social. China spies while offering peace. No thanks. Iran digs in deeper. Khamenei's Friday sermon thunders, nuclear technology is our right, inspections only over our graves. Post-Abadan, IRGC floods Hezbollah with Fateh 110 missiles, 500 shipped via Syria per IDF intercepts. Tehran rejects preconditions, dismantling Fordo or Natanz. Non-negotiable, Foreign Minister Amir Abdollahian snaps in a viral Al Jazeera clip racking 15 million views. Red lines harden. No U.S. carriers in Hormuz during talks. Full sanctions relief up front. Israel barred from observer status. Hezbollah's Nasrallah escalates. Dahia raid was child's play. Tel Aviv next if Zionists meddle. Iran's navy lays 200 sea mines off Bandar Abbas per satellite leaks. Hormuz narrows to a dagger's edge. Flashback to Trump's pattern. April 2026 proxy talks in Oman collapsed when he deemed Iran's uranium cap a joke. May 6th Muscat follow-up? Dead on arrival after UAE strikes. Netanyahu piles on, nightly calls to Trump urge finish the job, Beirut to Tehran. Israeli F-35s buzz Iranian airspace May 11th, dropping leaflets. Your refineries burn next. Casualties toll, 120 Iranian troops, 40 UAE pilots downed in dogfights. Europe sits out. France's May Day riots see 10,000 clash in Paris. Macron deploys 5,000 riot police amid Sahel betrayal chants. Russia's Zelensky surprise, 1,000 drones shredding Donbass, ties Putin's hands, shipping Cornet ATGMs to IRGC unchecked. Barriers stack like dominoes. Trust deficit yawns. U.S. accuses Iran of 2019 tanker sabotage redux. Tehran points to Soleimani drone strike payback. Beijing venue spooks. CCP data grabs. No neutral Swiss chateaus here. Oil markets jitter. Futures hit $148. Saudi hedges with Aramco cuts. Public mood sours. U.S. polls show 62% backstrikes over talks. Iranian streets chant death to Xi's puppets. On-screen scenarios flash. Scenario. Likelihood. Outcome. Full talks. 30%. Hormuz reopens. Oil drops 20% to $115. Proxy standoff. 50%. China gains influence. U.S. isolated in Gulf. Escalation, 20%. Straight blockade triggers. Global recession hits. Visuals hammer home. Split-screen Trump-Netanyahu war room calls. Iranian missile silos yawning open. Hormuz tanker traffic grinding to halt. History screams caution. JCPOA's ghost haunts Vienna halls. Trump's ego versus Khamenei's theocracy. Immovable object meets unstoppable force. Peace odds, slimmer than a razor's edge. But what if Beijing's alchemy turns lead to gold? Next, the paths that could crack this deadlock or ignite the powder keg. Optimistic Path charts a narrow escape hatch. Beijing summit kicks off May 20th. China tables a blueprint. UN inspectors embed at Natanz under PLA escort, verifying 20% uranium cuts within 90 days. Trump wins optics. Carriers pull back 200 miles from Hormuz. B-52 patrols halt, framed as strength through restraint. Iran gets phased sanctions relief, $50 billion unfrozen from South Korean banks, letting Tehran rebuild Abadan refinery with Chinese contractors. Hezbollah stands down northern border drones. Israel pauses Beirut airstrikes. Oil dips 15% to 125 as first tankers thread Hormuz freely. Xi toasts win-win, slipping Huawei a chip export waiver under table. Russia nods approval. Putin's Donbass gains hold without U.S. refocus. France's riots cool. Macron sends observers salvaging EU face. Pessimistic track looms larger. Talks drag into photo op. Handshakes, no text. Iran stalls inspections citing Zionist sabotage. Trump walks, blaming China's kangaroo court. Proxies flare. Houthis sink a Maersk tanker off Yemen. UAE retaliates with cluster munitions on Sana'a. Hezbollah tests new hypersonic drones over Golan. IDF flattens South Beirut. Russia-Ukraine heats up. Zelensky's May 12th. Surprise evolves into 5,000 FPV drones shredding Russian logistics, pulling Putin deeper into Donbass meat grinder. France implodes. Mayday chaos escalates to nationwide strikes. CGT unions paralyze SNCF rails, starving Europe of leverage. Oil clings at 145. US taps SPR reserves. Gas hits $6 nationwide. Wildcards lurk everywhere. Israel's Hezbollah front explodes. Nasrallah's Radwan force tunnels under Metula. IDF uncovers sarin traces. Chemical red line crossed. Trump greenlights Netanyahu for total victory, sidelining talks. U.S. hantavirus mutates. CDC whispers lab leak from Iranian virology center smuggled via cruise ship crew. Fox runs 24/7, tanking Trump's approval to 38%. China's House of Cards wobbles. Xi's purged generals spawn PLA leaks. Taiwan runs live fire drills 12 miles offshore, testing Beijing's split-second timing. Russia wildcard spikes. Victory Day parade masks. Frontline collapse. Zelensky's drones kill 800 in one night. Donetsk falls to Ukrainian heliborne assault. Putin floods Iran with Su-57s. Iskander missiles. Hormuz becomes no-fly zone. France's Sahel revenge. Macron deploys Foreign Legion to counter Russian Wagner in Mali, diverting Mirage jets from Gulf patrols. Global South flips script. India brokers parallel Riyadh talks. Saudi Arabia pumps 2 million extra barrels to crash prices, undercutting China's leverage. Viral bioweapon rumors metastasize. X threads claim hantavirus ties to IRGC Quds Force, racking 500 million impressions, forcing WHO probes. Audience poll slams on screen. Will talks happen by June? Yes, 42%, no, 58%. Heat map pulses red over Hormuz, yellow on Taiwan Strait. AI-generated futures flicker. Beijing summit handshake dissolves to carrier strike group silhouettes against fiery sunsets. Pathways fork, diplomacy's threadbare rope, or free fall into abyss. Odds favor grind, not glory. But one spark flips the board. Strap in, experts weigh in on what breaks or makes this moment. Ex-diplomat Michael Singh, ex-NSC senior director, leans into the mic. China wins no matter what. Talks succeed? Beijing's the new Geneva. Talks fail? They blame Trump's ego, Iran's zealots. Either way, US looks like the warmonger. Singh's been sounding alarms since JCPOA's corpse cooled. His X thread today hits 2 million views. Xi's not mediating. He's manufacturing consent for a unipolar Asia. Cut to his map. Belt and road arteries pulsing from Xinjiang through Gwadar, now snaking Hormuz patrols with PLA peacekeepers. Hawkish counterpoint from Senator Tom Cotton on a hot mic leak. This is a trap wrapped in a smile. Beijing venue means zero transparency, CCP bugs in every chandelier, Iran walks with nukes intact. Cotton's Senate floor rant yesterday. We bombed their sites for a reason. Now Xi plays referee, rejected like Obama's Iran cash. His prediction slider creeps to 75% escalation. Hormuz blockade by June 1st, carriers enforcing convoy. Viral clip racks likes, Cotton slamming gavel, no Beijing summits, strike harder. Centrist take from Brookings, Suzanne Maloney, realpolitik favors talks. Trump's base hates $6 gas more than they love airstrikes. Iran's youth riots over breadlines, not nukes. Maloney's op-ed forecasts 60% symbolic Beijing huddle by May 25th. Photo op handshakes, no deal, but Hormuz demined as confidence gesture. Oil eases to 120. Huawei gets tariff reprieve. Her wild card, Netanyahu vetoes if Hezbollah sarin catches surface. 40% chance per her model. Panel clash heats up. Singh. China's post-Mali playbook. Evict West, install proxies. Cotton fires back. Mali proves it. Talk nice, arm Houthis. Maloney mediates. France's riots kill their leverage. Russia's Donbas bleed lets Putin back Iran unchecked. Consensus emerges. Zero trust, maximum posturing. My synthesis. Stitch their threads into probabilities. Prediction time. Here's the breakdown. 60% chance of Beijing talks by June. Not full peace, but 30-day truce. Iran caps centrifuges at 3,000 under Chinese-monitored IAEA. Trump unfreezes $20 billion carriers shadow Hormuz at 100 miles. Oil drops 12% to 130. She parades as stability guarantor. Huawei chips flow quietly. 30% proxy grind. Houthis, Hezbollah poke, UAE, Israel swat. China's influence swells as US tires. 10% blow up. Putin ships hypersonics to Tehran. Trump blockades Hormuz fully. Recession slams. Dow dumps 15%. Tie it home. $150 oil means $10 gas at your pump. Pantry raids by July. Trump's calculus, hantavirus polls tanking him to 42% approval, nudges toward optics win. Khamenei's succession clock ticks, young IRGC officers eye pragmatism. Sliders lock, peace fragile as glass, but Beijing's the only table set. Prediction graphic freezes, 60-30-10 split. Hormuz tanker silhouette fades to question mark. China's gambit reshapes the board. America plays catch-up. China's door cracks open to US-Iran talks, but the room's rigged with motives. Xi secures oil flows and chip deals. Trump chases optics amid hantavirus headlines. Iran clings to nukes behind Hezbollah shields. We've mapped the May 2026 inferno, Abadan flames, Hormuz mines, Beijing's bold bid, from crisis spark to 60% talk odds, 20% war risk. Peace hangs by Beijing's thread, fragile, transactional, world-shaping. Bottom line, fill your tank, watch Hormuz tankers, eye $10 gas by June. This pivots markets, midterms, maybe the next decade's map. Smash like if you see China's 4D chess winning, drop peace or war, in comments now. Subscribe, bell on for part 2, what Xi demands next. Links below, survival pantry guide, oil futures tracker, my Telegram for breaking alerts. Share this before algorithms bury it. Stay ahead of the chaos. Thanks for riding the edge. See you at the next flashpoint.